This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'd like to be joined by the Benwell bomber today, Joe Laws. Joe, it's been a while since I had you on. How you been, mate?
Been good, mate. I've just been training every day. At the start of lockdown, I'm a better fighter than I was before lockdown, and I just can't wait. I can't wait to get back in the ring. Can't
Now,
wait.
some fighters have sort of struggled to get in and out of the gym during lockdown. You know, they've been training away from home, whatever. But as I understand it, you've probably still had good access. Has that been a benefit for you to just be able to knuckle down during what's been a very, very weird few months?
Yeah, it has, but like I say, I've been boxing years. My life is lockdown. I train, I sleep, I eat, and I do it all again. And so in lockdown, my life hasn't really changed that much. I've just been training. I've got the best sponsors in the world. Them being supporting us through the hard time. So I just can't wait. I can't wait to get back at it.
You've always been very grateful to your sponsors. You know, you always talk about them, whether it's on or off camera. During a time like this, how important is that for an upcoming boxer to have people around them that trust them and sort of give them that platform to keep going and keep training even when they can't fight?
It's like I say, if it wasn't for my sponsors, I wouldn't be in the position where I am now. Because in times like this, when boxing just gets started again, I couldn't just like train full time. I would have to go to work, and my training would be affected, and then and as your training gets affected, your performance gets affected, and then that's just a slippery slope. So my sponsors have stuck by us, and I've carried on training, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get back in the ring. I'm itching. I want to fight now. Now.
You're Richard, Joe. There's a lot of people actually calling your name right now. It's usually the other
What
way
the
when I
fuck
speak to
can you
you.
call my name as well, man? Because you know me, right? Now I'm a sound kid, right? And like, I think people think I'm the sharp, have a few good fights, a bit laugh, a bit. No, I'm not. I'm not a fucking big world champion. Daft cunt are calling my name when I haven't even fucking said fuck all to them, right? Lewis Isaacs, he's getting panned all over. Ronan Doughty, he called my name out like fucking a few months ago. So if he wants it, I'll fly over Dubai and fuck him. I'll smash them all. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of me being all this Mr. Nicey Nicey. Come with me mask, because that gets you fucking nowhere. The old daft cunt, and I'm going to punch them up and down. Simple as that.
Let's start with Lewis Isaacs, because this seems to have got quite personal quite quickly. Where did that spat begin? As I understand it, he just started calling your name and it's just sort of spiraled from there. What happened?
He's popped up saying, me, you, Newcastle Stadium. So I went, suck me balls. And then he kept on popping up. So when I went, listen, okay, I'll fight you. And now he's saying he needs a warm-up fight, 2 warm-up fights. He's flapped it, he bitched it. So if he needs a warm-up fight or 2 warm-up fights or an 18-week camp at Big Bear, so be it. But next year, when I fight him, I'm going to end his career. So there we go.
You wanted that in October when you get back in the ring in Newcastle. You've said publicly you're ready for that. You're ready for a domestic fight now. Do you think that's completely off the table then, that he would take that in October?
Fuck knows. I'm the Scooby-Doo. I would take it, but if he takes it, that's a different story. But I'll be ready, and I'll be ready for anybody. Anybody come October.
You've had a laugh and a joke with a few guys before. You know, yourself and Devin Haney have had your moments sort of over the last couple of years. This, though, with Lewis Isaacs, from what I've sort of read on social media, he's not only said things about you, but about Benwell. Has this got personal for you?
He's the divvy. I'm going to smash his head in.
Now, in terms of what you want in October, if you can't have that domestic fight, if you have to wait for next year, what do you want on your return in terms of rounds and opponents? What are you looking at, Joe?
I want an 8-rounder in October. No fucking about. I want an 8-rounder. I want to dismantle that kid, whoever I fight. I'm training very, very hard. I'll be 10-0. And then next year, I want titles.
Now, Joe, even from your debut, have always had immense support in there with you right the way through. They always come in the hundreds to watch you. We're still expecting that you will be able to have your fans there and have a crowd there by the time October comes around. But if by some reason you can't, have you thought about fighting behind closed doors? What it would be like to not have the Benwell Army there?
Ideal, I'd want my fans there, but I fight anywhere. I fight with crowd, no crowd in the back lane in Asda car park. I fight anywhere, know what I mean? I'm training hard. So come the 7th of October, wherever the venue is, I'm fighting. I'm I'm swinging down.
It seems like things are getting serious for you and you're ready for that sort of domestic push in the next few months, going into next year as well. What kind of weight do you want to settle at? Where do you feel you'll be most at home at when you start going into these championship fights?
Listen, I think people worry about weight too much. I do 140. If Ronan Darty wants it, I move up to 147. I'm not too fucks. I fight anybody. I fight anybody in 140. If Ronan Darty wants it for one of them WBA Intercontinental, which he was meant to fight for, or I'll fly over to Dubai, I'll move up in weight and I'll smash his head in. He's a lazy fighter. Now I would dispose that. That's what I would do. I would dispose him. He's a lazy fighter. He's good. He's talented. Do you think I would go in the ring and let him breathe for 1 second? And Lewis Isaacs, I'd walk through him.
Do you think these call-outs are serious when they come your way?
I think so.
One thing I wanted to speak to you about today, Joe. One thing we've not really spoken about too much in the past in all the interviews we've done, Joe. Something I want to ask you about today is actually the influence of your dad. You know, you'll often throw a picture up of your dad and yourself when you were younger, when you were just starting to get involved in boxing. How do you sum up how much your dad has sort of influenced you and your journey into the sport as well?
Oh, Lord, I remember years ago, we'd been in Vegas. Any holiday we'd go to, you'd always find a gym, whether a boxing gym, MMA gym. He's always supported us. Even in amateur days, he's a drop us off, pick us back up. He's there for all my fights. He's never missed one. Even the amateurs, I've boxed over Hungary, Slovakia. He would take trains, he would take fucking planes, buses, you name it, but he would always be there. So that's class. Love it.
And I know you've got the drive to achieve not only for you, but for the people of Benwell as well, something you've spoken about before. But how much of what you do is to make him proud as well for everything he's sort of given you?
Oh, like I say, like when I get in that ring, I'm not just fighting for me, I'm fighting for everybody. I'm fighting for my people. I'm fighting for all my friends, my family, who support us from day one, know what I mean? And I've got too much backing on it now. Like I've got little kids knocking on my door, asking for photographs, a signed picture of us, and it's quite surreal to be honest. But if I've got kids looking up to me, I've got to set the example. So I live the life. I don't fuck about. Come fight night, win, lose or draw. I'm going for it. You'll not see one fight of mine. I'll finish it. I'll be sitting down saying to myself, I could have done more. As soon as that bell goes, I'm leaving it all in the ring. 110%.
You've told me previously, you know, you'll never leave Benwell. This is your place and these are your people. When you've got these kids coming down and knocking on the door and asking for photos, how much does that mean to you that you're already inspiring the community at such an early stage of your career and you've got these kids, like those kids that were once you, knocking on your door and being inspired?
Oh, it's amazing. Like the kids growing up, them are the future. You know what I mean? And I know life outside the gym, especially in Benwell, it's hard. There's loads of bad influences, and if you're not dedicated to something, the streets will get you because you'll hang around the streets, you'll hang around all that people, and next thing you know, you're drinking, you're smoking, you're getting up to no good, and that's just a bad path to be on. So I say to all young kids, get in the gym, get a hobby, and stay dedicated. Along the path, you'll always get people doubting you. Oh, he's this, he's that, he's that. Just fuck all the doubters and just have self-belief. Because in boxing, when it comes to fight day, the only person that matters is yourself. All your entourage isn't fighting for you. Your doubters, nobody, it's yourself. And it's y'all dumpling up, yeah. You've got to stay strong-minded.
And Joe, I wanted to ask you about a few things away from yourself, if that's okay. Someone who I know you've been incredibly inspired by in your life, and someone you met when you were a kid, Mike Tyson. I've seen that photo you floating around, looking up and staring at Mike Tyson. Was that the inspiration the day you met him and stared right up at him, that mountain of a man?
It was. I loved his style. He was ruthless in the ring, and I do believe that 2-year period when he was, I think he was about 2021, he would beat any heavyweight. He was just he was ferocious. He's an absolute legend. And the same back training, it's good to see, but I don't think he should fight again. He's an old man, isn't he? But in his prime, he was an absolute killer and a massive role model.
That's something I was going to ask you about next. Like when you see Mike Tyson back, and it's made such a buzz seeing him even just hitting the pads and working out or whatever. Do you sort of sympathise with these older fighters when they want to come back? Holyfield's there as well. Do you understand why they do it, even though you might not want to see it?
You know what? I do, because I've been boxing 12 years now, and I'm not coming upon my crowd when I'm thinking of retiring. I've got another 7-8 years left in the game. But when I'm 35 and retire, I'll probably sit down and say to myself, what do I do? You know what I mean? I've been training every day for like a purpose. And then as soon as you retire, I bet it is harder hanging gloves up. But that's why I respect Andre Ward, Joe Kazaki. They retired on top. And Andre Ward still had another 2-3 fights left in him. But I watched the podcast. He says, what's the point? You know what I mean? He set out to do what he did. He did it. He's leaving on top with all his marbles intact, and fair play to him. I hate to see legends come back like Roy Jones and getting beat by people who they shouldn't get beat by. Mike Tyson getting beat by Kevin McBride. I'm not disrespecting Kevin McBride one bit, but in his day, Kevin McBride wouldn't have been used as a sparring partner from him. Now what I mean? And it's a shame to see fighters go that one step too far. But it is good to see them back training and back in shape. But it's a catch-22, isn't it?
It is. Now, Joe, I just wanted to get your thoughts on a couple of things. British boxing, obviously, things are starting to get going again. Fights are slowly starting to get talked about and made. The big talk at the minute is the race to face Canelo. It looks like it's either going to be an Irishman or a Brit. We've got Jay Quigley, we've got John Ryder, we've got Callum Smith. Who would you personally like to see face Canelo? And who out of the Brits do you think has the best chance against Canelo?
Billy Joe beats him. I reckon Billy Joe shown us with a full camp. It's an absolute nightmare for Canelo. Even up until he knocked out Kovalev, I thought he was going to beat, personally. And I think if Billy Joe comes in fit, I think he could outbox him. He's got a very, very good boxing brain, but he's right, Canelo. He says, I'll fight you with like an 8-week camp, this and all that. And even Billy Joe says, I'll fight you, but with a full camp. I think he beats Eubank in his own game. And I think John Ryder is a nightmare for him.
So do you think out of the names in the running that John Ryder would possibly be the one that gives him his toughest test?
Yeah, you know what? I do. I think Cam Smith's a better fighter than John Ryder, hands down. But I think against Canelo, I think John Ryder would be an absolute nightmare of a style. Because the best way to fight fire is with fire. And one thing John Ryder is, he's game, he's a bull, and he comes forward. So I think he may catch Canelo a bit off guard. But then again, Canelo could just catch him, and it's good night. So that's the beauty of boxing. Every shot got a counter, and every counter's got a counter. And it's like, I could sit here and talk boxing all day. He'll beat him, but then we could switch the roles, and then he beats him. It's like, it's different. That's why I'm buzzing that boxing's getting started again. I love sitting down watching 50-50 fights. I got a tingle up my body. Ooh! Ow! I love it.
You mentioned it with Billy Joe there. You know, he did rule himself out. They were going to fight in May, but this time around he said, look, if you're not going to give me a full camp, I don't want the fight. Do you sympathise with him in that situation? Because some people are saying you got to take a fight like that when it comes, but he's saying, you know, I want a full camp if I'm going to take on someone like Saul Alvarez.
You take your fight. I think you take your fight if you haven't like been there and done that. But I think Billy Joe's in a position now where he should be like having a full camp. Whereas if I was coming up on his way, hasn't won a world title, hasn't fought for a world title, and his chance comes, then you take it. But I think Billy Joe, he's got that stature about him now where he should be getting a full camp, in my opinion.
A couple of things, Joe, a couple of the fights I want to ask you about. On part of this fight camp sort of thing we got coming up, this summer schedule that Matchroom have, At 147, in and around you, we got Luther Clay and Chris-Kongo. It's a fight a lot of boxing fans are excited about. Brilliant fight. How do you see the fight playing out?
I've told everybody Luther Clay is a dark horse. A dark horse. I think Luther Clay goes in there and he bullies him, gets a late stoppage, or he wins on points.
What makes you sure of that? Is it just from watching Luther Clay? Have you seen him in the gym or any different time?
I've watched mostly all his fights, and I know him personally talked to, and he's a hell of a fighter. He's had the hard way. He's went over to these countries. He hasn't really fought journeyman coming up. He's had the hard way, and he's just he's a sound lad, and I think people are going to get a massive shock when he fights Chris-Kongo.
And Joe, another one I want to ask you about. Luke Campbell has been ordered to face Ryan Garcia for the right to have the interim title and to be in line to face Devin Haney. Luke Campbell, very confident going into that fight, took it on a whim, happy to take that fight. How do you see it playing out?
I reckon Luke Campbell outmans him. Personally, he's been there and done that. Luke Campbell, he's got a young face, he looks young, but he's been there and done that. He's been there, done the amateurs, the top amateurs. He's all these grade A tournaments, the Olympics, etc. And even the pros. He's been there and done that, and he's fought the best. Whereas Ryan Garcia, we don't know if he is going to be this next superstar pound-for-pound king, or if he's took it too early. You know what I mean? But main money's on Luke Campbell. I think Luke Campbell goes in there and outmans him. He's a big 135er. He's a big, slick, strong southpaw. And I think Luke Campbell's going to him.
Out of that sort of WBC trio we've got where Campbell and Garcia are facing each other, and it looks like the winner may face Devin Haney, your old friend. Who do you think will emerge as the top out of them three? Do you think Luke Campbell can beat Devin Haney as well?
Aye, he does, aye. Yeah, listen, if I beat Devin Haney, Luke Campbell's going to be fucking Devin Haney. I think Luke Campbell's just a nightmare for anybody. His size, everything he does is perfect. If you watch him, you'll be standing there, right? And just his movements, outside line, inside line, his feints, he's a technician. And I think these young kids coming up, they could get caught in the hype. Ryan Garcia's got a massive social media following. I bet he's got people knocking his doors saying, "You're the greatest, Ryan, you're the greatest, you're the best." And if you're that age coming through, you will sort of believe it. Whereas Luke Campbell's been there, he's been beat, he's fought the world champions. I think Luke Campbell beats Devin Haney and he beats Ryan Garcia.
And finally, Joe, a couple of days ago, speaking to your old mate Jordan Reynolds over Zoom, he was recalling the little Las Vegas
Jordan Reynolds, the one, bro. Cracking fight, I hate it.
You two mix a bit of business with pleasure on that Las Vegas trip you went on. You had a little bit of an infamous spar out there, but what was that like for you when you were younger, going out there and doing a bit of training in those gyms out there and getting that experience?
Mental, like I say, me and Jordan's been there and done that. If you ask Jordan behind cameras about me, and if you ask me behind cameras about Jordan, say the same. We're both workhorses. We train hard, and I would like a laugh. We're always on social media. But when it comes down, we can fight. We've been there the hard way. The England camps, the JB camps, were fought for England. The English title series, the training camps. He went over LA when he was 16, spawned the wild card. I've been all over the gyms and all that. We walked in Mayweather's gym, hungover. He fought. He sparred cruiserweights. I've sparred light middleweights up to middleweights, and we've been there, done that. The apprenticeship's done, so now it's our time to show what we're about. We're filming as an amateur on your call, fighting for the English title series in Vegas. We'd sit down with a drink in hand, saying, "Yeah, Jordan, one day we're going to be on the big stage." He's had the hard way growing up, his life story and all that. I have not easy, and trust us now. Me and Jordan are two kids who will work too hard not to get the results.
You always maintain, and people have said it about you, that your style would be more suited to the professional game than the amateur game. Jordan said the same thing about himself to me. Do you agree with that? Do you think we should be incredibly excited about him as he turns over?
Yes, he's a cracking boxer, right? He's a cracking boxer. And to look at him, you think, oh, he's just got boxed up. He's very heavy-handed as well. And he's got a good boxing brain. And one thing is, his game is a bad jaw. He can fight anybody. So I think when he sits on their small gloves, his skills show. And as soon as he lands clean, it's good night.
Joe, I've kept you for just over 20 minutes, mate. So I'm going to leave the final word to you. For all those people calling your name right now and the people you may be in the ring with in the coming months, what would you say to them?
Fuck you. And listen, and if anybody wants it, they can have it, right? They can have it. And when the bell rings, we'll say who's got the big mouth. Because, like I say, win, lose, or draw. But I'm not drawing. I'm not losing. I'm coming fucking swinging. I'm coming for you. Team Bomber all the way. I'm going to thank all my sponsors. I love you to bits. All my support. Everyone on social media. Fuck all the haters. And keep an eye out because Bomber's coming. Keep on! Bomb Squad! Yes! Bang!
Joe Laws, thank you as always for your time, mate.
Cheers, mate. Anytime. Pleasure.